Let's turn to Pennsylvania Republican Congressman Charlie Dent. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Let's talk about the Republican Party. On ABC this week, you said that the party, the loyalty to President Trump is now the litmus test for 2018. If that is the case, do you still consider yourself a Republican?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a member, Katie. I'm a member of the Lincoln wing of the Republican Party. We're the party of Abraham Lincoln and Theodore Roosevelt, Dwight Eisenhower, Ronald Reagan, the Bushes. So no, I'm a proud Republican. But I do think the party has got to basically take stock of itself right now. I am concerned that both political parties are taking on these isolationist, protectionist, and at times nativist inclinations, which I believe is very unhealthy. I mean, and I've always said, too, prior to Donald Trump, we had a litmus test Republican Party. It was those who were there were people out there. The chiefs of the purity police were always trying to enforce some kind of doctrinaire conformity. You had to be ideologically pure. And I was always part of the pragmatic wing. So the battle was between the purists and the pragmatists. Now that Donald Trump is president, he's not ideological, and now the litmus test has really moved towards loyalty to the man.
So is
it
not just loyalty to the president versus the cult of personality?
Yeah, although you can make a case that Donald Trump is pragmatic to a fault, practically.
Is it pragmatic to a fault? Is it pragmatic to go after leaders of your own party when they're trying to get legislation through? Is it pragmatic to demonize Democrats and make it so it's impossible for them to work with them?
No, going after leaders of your own party is just stupid. It's not pragmatic. But the point is that I guess that I'm trying to make is that really right now, though, I've said that people will say you need to be loyal to the president, who doesn't always inspire party loyalty. Let's face it. He's nominally Republican, just as Bernie Sanders was. Well, he's not even a Democrat, and he more or less has taken over the Democratic Party. So that's where we are in this country. I do think that the parties are realigning as we speak, right under our feet. And nobody's really sure how this is going to sort itself out.
Is there going to be room for those? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there going to be room for those who might disagree with the president going forward in the Republican Party?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, look, we're going to have a midterm election. That's going to settle a lot of things. The president is still very popular among the Republican base, or at least reasonably popular among the Republican base. The challenge is for a lot of members who represent districts like mine, I'll say swing districts or marginal districts, it's, attaching yourself to the president is really not going to be a very smart thing to do in the midterm election. In these swing marginal districts in the Northeast, and I can find suburban districts in California and Chicago and Minneapolis where I wouldn't either. But, the president will probably be an asset to candidates who are representing ruby red districts. But then again, those seats aren't going to be really heavily contested. So that's the lay of the land.
Let's talk about the future of the Republican Party. You said last weekend, that the Republican Party is alienating minority voters, Hispanics, African Americans, also alienating women voters. Is there a way for the Republican Party to lure them back in, to entice them to vote for the GOP if Donald Trump is still at the top of the ticket?
Well, often the president's incendiary rhetoric, we had, the Charlottesville situation, some of the comments he had made previously about Hispanics and Mexicans were obviously very unhelpful. There are obviously issues with women. I think right now what we can do as a party, we should move forward aggressively on this Dreamer DACA issue, attached to some reasonable border security measures. That would show that I think we are sincere in trying to work with many folks. That's something. I also happen to believe we should probably reauthorize the Voting Rights Act to conform with the Supreme Court decision from a few years ago. There are things like that we can do to show that we are a party of inclusion, not exclusion, and that we're about addition and not subtraction. I worry that there are too many voices in our party. When I hear that nativist, isolationist, protectionist movement, that really speaks to exclusion. And I think that is very unhealthy for our party. And to be fair, I see that same thing happening with the Democrats at times, too.
Had your party voted on DACA, or had Congress voted on DACA before the recess, do you think your party would have voted it up or down?
Well, I believe we're going to vote on DACA early in the new year.
Do you think you're going to vote it up?
Oh, I believe it will pass. I believe there are 300 votes to pass some kind of relief for the so-called Dreamers or DACA individuals, children. I believe there'll be 300 votes for that. I'm not saying I'm not saying there'll be a majority of the majority Republicans, but I think there'll be one hell of a lot of Republicans who will vote for that.
I was talking to Mark Caputo, who used to be of the Trump campaign, a little bit earlier today, and I asked him whether or not there was a deep state, or whether or not Donald Trump believes there is a deep state. He's going after the FBI a lot. He's going after the DOJ. And Mark Caputo said yes, that he believes there's a deep state. I'm sorry, Michael Caputo. My mistake. He believes there's a deep state, and so does the president. Do you believe there's a deep state?
No, I've never really bought into that. It strikes me as a bit of a conspiracy theory. You know, everybody's got to take a deep breath. You know, you just had my friend John Yarmouth on, and you were talking about impeachment. I remember going through issues now with George Bush, when Dennis Kucinich would go to the floor with impeachment articles, and then we had Republicans going to with impeachment articles to the floor over the IRS commissioner, and now we have Democrats coming to the floor over Donald Trump. They all got to take a deep breath. Let Director Mueller do his job. We should respect and support the FBI. There are there are agents in the FBI with political opinions. They should try to keep them to themselves. But the point is, they're good professional people, and I don't like all these attacks on the FBI. I don't buy into all this conspiracy theory out there that some are advancing. We shouldn't be doing that as Republicans.
Congressman, with all due respect, you're leaving. You're not going to try to get reelected. You're one of the moderate Republicans. How do you expect things to get better, for everyone to take a deep breath, when folks like you, the moderate wing of your party, the ones who say, let's take a deep breath, are leaving?
Well, you know, like I said, I've been in the arena now for 28 years. I did 14 years in my state legislature. It was a pretty tough place there. And, you know, 14 years in Congress, 28 years is a long time. But I think I can advance many of the issues I believe in from a different place. And I intend to continue to bring voice to these issues. I'm not going to get out of the game entirely here. But, you know, I've run for office 13 times. No sane person should run for office more than 13 times. But it just seemed like the right time for me, not just on a professional level, but on a personal level.
Where are you going?
That's a good question. I've been, you know, talking to a number of folks, and I continue to, you know, just, you know, feel it out. All I can say, there's a lot of opportunity out there in this world, and you know, a lot of people talk to me, and there's plenty of opportunities. That's all I can really tell you.
Okay.
I don't have anything definitive set up yet, but when I do, I'll let you know.
Please do. Congressman Charlie Dent, thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.